Hi everyone, hope you're well and having a great day. I just want to ask the question, what's happening to the days where what's happening to the police? Like where's the days where many years ago when I was a kid, seeing the police and being able to see them on our streets, where we could see them walking and know they're there and feel safe. It kind of feels like now the only people that can feel safe is either if it's an MP or if it's the Royals. That's how it kind of feels like now. And I kind of feel a bit like as if just the ordinary working man and woman cannot feel safe because, you know, they're not important enough to feel safe. And this is how I actually feel. And I feel that when we were a lot younger and I used to see the police on the streets, it kind of made me feel as if like it was good to see them. It was good to see them. I've got nothing against the police. And to be honest, it was good to see them, that they were around. And now we barely see the police around anymore. And it kind of makes me feel a bit like as if the only time I see them is if they're shooting down the roads. You can hear their sirens, you know they're there. Probably at the protest, or probably if they're chasing Tommy Robinson, trying to arrest him. That's probably the only time we'll probably see the police. I remember years ago when my husband was on the underground and this woman approached him and she said to my husband, "Can you pretend to know me because I'm being followed?" And the thing is, it's quite sad when someone can't even be on the underground and not be able to see a policeman around or a security guard or something like that, where they can feel safe to call on somebody and alert that somebody is following them. You know, there could be even an alarm button where people can press so that they can get the help. And this is quite sad really, because nothing like that is available, you know, and people just want to feel safe on the streets, and they don't feel safe on the streets when there aren't police walking the streets. Just a circumstance, I told you about the underground, like security guards or anything like that around, where people don't have the ability to press a button and somebody coming to their call. And it kind of feels like the only people that can have the protection is if you're either a royal or you're an MP. And a normal working class person can't have that, you know, and they pay their taxes and they should be able to have that. If there was a woman being stalked, she can't have a policeman outside her house to protect her, to make sure that nothing happens to her, you know, where there's been many women who have probably been killed by somebody who has been stalking her, you know. And it's quite sad really, because we live in a world where all these illegals are coming in now, and people are feeling even unsafer now as well because of that reason, not knowing who these people are. They're just coming on in their boats and they are just roaming the streets. We don't know who they are, you know, and it's really people feeling very unsafe with them here. You know, they've been put all over the place in hotels. People don't know who they are, and so people are very concerned, you know. And yeah, so people are quite worried about their own country and all the things going on in their country. And you know, people are asking the same questions over and over again. You know, why aren't they doing anything? Why aren't they doing anything? That include, you know, the MPs. Why aren't they doing anything to protect our country? You know, why aren't they keeping the people safe? They know that you know, that they don't want to hear the question about why aren't they doing anything. And when they do get asked, they brush it off and they just completely skip the question, and they go on to start rambling on about something completely irrelevant to what they've been asked, you know. And we've got a mayor of London who doesn't even care about London, who, you know, not even bothered about what's going on, doesn't even know what's going on, doesn't even know the concerns of what people have in London. And even if you don't live in London and you live out of London, it's the exact same thing. You know, nobody seems to be bothered about what's going on in their towns and in their area, you know, and how they are affected by obviously the crimes and everything that's going on. So this is another problem when no one really seems to be that bothered or even seems to care, and it's quite sad because, you know, all people want is just to feel safe, and I don't think that's much to ask for at all. I don't think it's much to ask for. I think it's just what everybody wants for themselves, for their children, just to be able to go out into the streets and feel safe. Whether they go out for an evening out, they want to be able to know that they can go for an evening out and feel safe, you know, without, you know, being harassed or whatever. And people just want to feel safe, you know. And I don't think that's much to ask for at all. I think that's very, I don't think that's, you know, I think that should just be a priority to us feeling safe. That should just come naturally, because obviously MPs want to feel safe, just like the royals want to feel safe. Everybody wants to feel safe, so why can't we feel safe? Why do we have to be the only people that don't feel safe? And the royals can feel safe, and so can MPs, and normal everyday people can't feel safe. You know, what happened to the days when police were seen on the streets walking, you know, in twos or even by themselves or whatever? Where have them days gone? Why have they been taken off the streets? Why is it that the only time we see them are in cars, whether there's, you know, going to an emergency call or whatever it is? But why is that the only time, you know? And this is the questions I'd love to ask the MPs, and you know, this is something that, you know, we all want to know. These are questions that we all probably would love to ask them, you know. And it's very, very it's you know, it's unfair, you know, that we are not heard. We're absolutely not heard. We you know what I mean, they don't really care about us, to be honest, and that's why we're not heard. You know, our questions are really not that important whatsoever, you know. And it's quite sad really, because we should be important. We're the taxpayers and we should be important. But anyway, that's all I have to say for now. I hope you all have a great day. Bye bye.